I'm Lauren Decker, Youth Librarian for the Kershaw County Library. Welcome to this video that I'm calling Robot Engineering, but we've got several other things we're going to do too. So, by the end of this video, you will know some new words. You will have looked at some really interesting books, and you will be able to put together your own robot creation with the take and make packets that are at the doors of the 3 branches of the Kershaw County Library. Let's start with one of those really interesting books. I'd like to read to you Robots. Watch out, water about. But this is a beautiful book. It's a pop-up. So, what you'll get to see is some really pretty pictures. Have you ever wondered how an artist put this together? How did they figure out how the page was going to look as it pops up? How did they cut out all the pieces to make it work on the page as it pops up? That's engineering. And I think you'll see that too in the robot that we are going to create. And I'll show you exactly how that comes together. But for now, let's go on, let's read. Robots, Watch Out, Water About by Philip Ugg. Drip, drop, slowly rain begins to fall, but robots don't like water at all. Too late! He's starting to rust. His bolts grind and clink. His lights flicker and blink. Hello, Iron Doctor? We need your help without delay. My robot quickly drives away and races through town without slowing down. Toot, toot, vroom, vroom. Help me, please, Doctor. My turbine is scratched and my hoses detached. My plugs are disconnected. I need to be inspected. Rumble, squeak, scrape, crack. Soon his gears are back on track. Hop into the cyclotron for a quick spin, and my robot's as good as new again. Finally, my robot's repair is complete. We're both delighted he's back on his feet. So here's another cool book from National Geographic Kids. It's titled Everything Robotics, All the Robotic, Photos, Facts, and Fun. See? By Jennifer Swanson. Really cool. Have you ever thought, are robotics machines and automatons that help us, help humans? Or would you say that they are mechanical beings that want to take over the world? Well, experts tend to think that they are machines that want to help us, considering that humans are the ones that made these machines. So they're here to help us. And they are the work of roboticists. That's one of our new words. Roboticist is a scientist who has to study computer science and engineering to be able to design and make a robot. You've seen robots around. You may not realize how many are around now. Robots build things, and they catch criminals, and they explore the world, and they fight wars. They even vacuum and clean the house. Anybody have a Roomba? That's a robot. And what do robots look like? Well, some are huge, but some are this small. Here, let me show you this page. It's a photo gallery of the types of robots that are some out there right now. This is a human robot, a human-looking robot. They call him a humanoid, and she is actually the clerk at a hotel. It says, a humanoid robot greets guests and checks them into their rooms at the Hana Hotel in Nagasaki, Japan. This robot has been developed in Japan to help nurses lift their patients into their beds. Here is a robot face that's been programmed to mimic human emotions in its facial movements. This device is helping this man move his hand. This one has not been developed yet. It says it could one day buzz around and report suspicious activity. It looks like a fly. This one, though, this one's my favorite. Which one is human? One is a robot and one is human. Which one is human? Can you tell the difference? Danish professor Henrik Schaaf drinks coffee with his look-alike android robot, Germanoid DK. The android is controlled by a remote operator and a computer. It can mimic Schaaf's body movements and facial expressions. Pretty cool, huh? That is in National Geographic. And then there are others in our collection I want you guys to see. I'm not going to tell you an awful lot about them, but I'm going to show you a picture of just some that are in our collection. Okay, I have a game for you. You want to play? Grab yourselves a piece of paper and a pencil. Just 5 questions with multiple choice answers. All you have to do is write which letter is the answer to the question, and give yourself a point for each question that you get right. Okay, so the game is called Can You Talk Like a Roboticist? Okay. Comes out of this book again. I'm telling you, this is a really good one. What is it? Everything Robotics. Okay, the first question. The word is roboticist. And here's the definition. A scientist who designs, builds, a scientist who designs, builds, programs, and experiments with robotics. The question. What do you need to study to become a roboticist? A. Engineering and computer science. B. Biology and design. C. Engineering and geography. D. Medicine and computers. The answer? A. Engineering and computer science. Question number 2. Artificial intelligence is the ability of a machine to make decisions and show intelligent human behavior. So here's your question. What traits does a robot with artificial intelligence have? A. A strong body. B. Independent thinking and reasoning skills. C. The ability to listen. D. The ability to speak. Think about it for a bit. The answer is B. Independent thinking and reasoning skills. And if you didn't get it, don't worry about it. But you can check out this book and you'll be able to answer the question. Okay, question number 3. The word is animatronics, which is the use of electronics to make robots move like real-life people or animals. An animatronic dog makes a great pet because it can A. Bark, B. Dig, C. Jump, D, all of the above? What do you think? D, all of the above. I bet you're doing great. Let's keep going. Question number 4. Who knows what a drone is? Drone, an unmanned craft that can navigate independently. So here's your question. What can drones do? A, fly around without a human pilot. B, steer a ship. C, sail a boat. D, drive a car. The answer? A, fly around without a human pilot. And our last question, cyborg. A part human and part machine hybrid. I'm sure you guys know that. Question, which devices would make a person a cyborg? A, a pair of eyeglasses. B, a hearing aid. C, a prosthetic limb. D, a contact lens. Now this is a little bit of a trick question, so think carefully. The answer is B, a hearing aid, and C, a prosthetic limb. Combining machines with your body, cyborg. So the answer is both letters, B and C. That's our game. Hope you had fun with it, and if you feel like you didn't get enough answers right, don't worry about it, but that kind of information is right here at the library in these books. It's great, and this one's a good one. I really like this one. Okay, so now I think it's time to do our project. I'm standing next to the Ellison die cut machine, which the library owns and is used to cut out shapes. And that's what I'm doing right there. You put your piece of paper underneath the die cut, and in this case it is the robot that we're about to build. You press down. In this case, because the die cut is so large, you have to press down several times as you push it through, and you'll see what happens in just a second here. Very simple to use, and you can use it. Just bring your own paper. It will cut out letters and other kinds of shapes and prize symbols and stars we have. Right here I am pulling apart the pieces. There are 8 pieces that we need to create the robot. You see how easy it is to pull apart? That's because there's metal in that foam, that black foam, that and that's the what was cut. You don't need that anymore. You've got the pieces together for the robot. So let's get started. Here we go. You're going to turn these 8 pieces of flat paper into a 3D object robot in about 5 to 10 minutes. You've got the body and the head. These are his way of locomotion, his feet, or his tracks, if you want to call it that, his ears, arms. You'll need 2 brads and glue. And I also like to use some tape. I thought it was easier. Do you think you can figure out how to do it? Or have you already figured out how to do it? Start folding on the dotted lines and form a box. All the dotted lines, so these little funny shaped pieces become the flaps inside the box. just a gentle fold. And your box will look like, oops, I forgot to fold here. Something like this, which has to be glued. But don't forget to put your arms in first. So you take your arm pieces and you just slide a brad right through the hole and open it up on the inside so it's secure. Do the same to the other hole. Don't worry about how you put the arm, because what does this brad do for the arm? The brad allows it to move. So when you figure out where you want it to be, to sit, you can move it. Now, okay, like I said, I use tape also, and that's because I found it a little bit easier. You can tape inside the box on some of the sides because it's open. And that way you don't have to mess with the glue. Over. These flaps are going to go on the inside. And okay, now my arms are in the way, so we're moving the arms. There we go. And can we, if you want, it's up to you, but I'm going to try to tape that flap on the other side now. Oops. Don't like that one. Pull it apart. All right, now you need to glue. You can apply your stick glue, or if you want to use Elmer's, you don't need very much. 1, 2, 3. Cover. And really all you have to do is sit here for about a minute, but once it starts sticking, just even a little bit, what you could do is put it upside down and then put something heavier on it, not to crush it. Or maybe even not. You might be able to just leave it like that and go on and do another piece. Here, I'm going to take my cell phone. Yep, cell phone should work. Okay, that will then stay like that and glue together. All right, now this piece is going to be the head, and it's just a mini version of the body we just did. You're folding on every single dotted line, and you are going to create another cube for his head. So again, the flaps go in on the inside. take a piece of tape if you can. If you don't want to use the tape, you can glue. A very small piece of tape. You don't need very much. So now I try to do the other side. When you get your two boxes together, glued up together, then it's time to put his head, the little box, on top of the big box, bigger box. And you may do it any way that you like. If you want the small portion, the smallest, you can glue it like that. If you want to use the wider part to be the bottom of his body, that's fine too. Set it up any way you like. I think I'm going to make the smaller square at the top of his head. And again, glue. Oh dear. And hold down for just a little bit. I think I won't use my cell phone again for that weight. It worked very nicely. Okay, and now take your treads, and again you see the dotted lines. Just fold them and bend them, and you can make a square tread, a rectangular tread if you like, or they showed a picture where their tread was more, I don't know how to describe it, angled, which I liked. But for some reason, they didn't include another dotted line, so I just kind of measure it, and I'd like to cut this right about there. And then I will glue it to the top and put it on the bottom of his body. The treads get glued to the bottom of his body. Okay, and then the very last step is the ear. These are ears. And you notice the one dotted line, so I folded it in half. I'm going to put a little bit of glue right there. And actually that's a bit too much glue, I think, so I'm going to fold this one in half, and I'm going to smear my glue. Yep. And then I am going to apply it to his head. Actually, I can do it at the same time. Hold it there for just a second. And he's done. And guess what he needs now? The very last thing I should say is a a face. You guys can do that, can't you? Oh yeah. And here is a robot. And this is the end of the video. I hope you've learned some new words and enjoyed some interesting books. And I want to see your creations, your robot creations. If you care to, send a picture to our publicity librarian, Hannah Gustafson. Oh, it's hard to say. And she'll put it on Facebook. We look forward to it. We'll be doing this in about 2 more weeks when I have a program where we're going to learn how to make a spot show. I look forward to seeing you then, and thank you very much for being here with me today. I enjoyed it. Hope you did too.